Hello everyone, Divide here with the next build video. Today we're taking a look at another hunter build, and this is one of my favourites I've been using, well, since Shadowkeep, but I've adjusted it to be much better with the current seasonal mods and all that good stuff. This is similar to my previous Void Invisibility build I did, but this one is more on the solo side, so it suits solo players nicely. So this build is aimed more towards using rocket launchers and getting our dodge back as quick as possible, but at the same time getting invisibility. Now it's not the perfect build, but it's one I quite like, as you'll get your dodge back fairly quick, but we're more focused towards a fast reload build. So guys, sit back and relax, hit that subscribe and leave a rating, but now let's start. Now we're going to jump right into our setup in just a short moment, but before we do, let's quickly show what this build is based on. So I've based this build on rocket launchers, and you can use any Void rocket launcher, but for this build I'm using Truth just because it's something different to use and I never really use it often. And it kind of suits this build pretty nicely, as we'll get 2 dodges that regens pretty fast, and we'll have 9 rockets with this, but taking in mind that we get 3 rockets before we need to reload, so using those 2 dodges we can fire off all 9 rockets pretty quickly, which is kind of crazy. But as I say, this is a fairly mixed build between fast class ability regen and rocket launchers. But now we've looked at that, let's create the build. So starting off as usual with the loadout, you can use any rocket launcher you wish to, but it needs to match our subclass, so in this case it needs to be a Void rocket launcher. I went with Truth just to use something different that I don't usually use often, and it can be fun to use exotics you barely ever touch. But for the subclass, of course, we are a hunter Tether. This time the top tree, as last time we used the bottom tree for our unlimited abilities build. So go ahead with the top tree, Way of the Trapper, and this will give us the Vanishing Step, where dodging makes you vanish from sight for a short time, which is really beneficial for getting out of those bad situations. But then we have the Vortex Grenades and the Marksman Dodge. You want this on so that we can instantly reload our weapons. But moving on to the helmet, I went with Powerful Friend, specifically for that mobility increase, because you want to get your mobility to 100. If you don't need this mod, then switch it out for something that will help you gain class or grenade energy. But then we have Rocket Launcher Ammo Finder to help us get more heavy ammo for our rocket launcher. But for the gauntlets, I went with Swift Charge, and again you can change this to suit your preference. For me, I tend to use pulse rifles and SMGs a lot, so this is what will make me become Charge of Light. Then I went with the rocket launcher loader, and also with this you don't have to use it if you're using Truth, but ideally you do want to use it if you're using any other rocket launcher that gives you only 1 rocket per reloading. Then for the chest, we're going with the Sixth Coyote Exotic to get that second dodge, and I love this exotic so much, it's probably my favourite for the hunter. You can get this I believe from the Exotic World loot, and I believe Xur sells this as well sometimes, so keep checking every weekend. But for the first mod, I went with Font of Might, so when we pick up an elemental well that matches our subclass, we get a bonus to weapon damage with the same element, which is why we wanted to use that Void rocket launcher, so that we can maximise our DPS against bosses using them. Then I went with double rocket launcher reserve so we can carry 9 rockets, but for the legs, our Charge of Light mod is the High Energy Fire, where we gain a bonus to weapon damage when charged with light. You could also use this mod here as well as a replacement, it's really up to you, both work just as good, and I'm not certain what the damage difference is. But it seems with the High Energy Fire we get the damage buff until the enemy is killed. But the final mod for this part is the Rocket Launcher Scavenger. Finally for the class, we're going with Elemental Ordnance so that we can spawn those elemental wells with our grenade. So if you can get max mobility and discipline for faster class and grenade ability regen, then you're definitely in the win there. But I also went with Distribution so that we can reduce all ability cooldowns when using our class dodge near enemies. Now I do like this build, and back during Shadowkeep I used to always use this build just without the rocket launchers, and it was primarily about unlimited dodges back then, and I'm sure there are some good builds to get unlimited dodges as well, which I might look into, but I thought this was pretty neat and really works well playing solo. You could even change it up a little if you want to play it safe, doing solo flawless activities, then perhaps replace the rocket launcher mods with more ability cooldown mods so that you can get your dodge back quicker than the 10 seconds or so. But I really feel a dodge every 5 to 10 seconds is more than enough considering you have 2 as well. But that's all for this quick build video. Let me know what you think, or any other builds you think are pretty good. But for now, as usual, give this one a try out and let me know how it plays for you. Drop a rating, comment and subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next build video.